on. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentlemen, start your engines!
And the green flag is out. We have one car who did not get going. I believe that's the Zero machine of Nick Martin. This car is still stopped on the top side of the racetrack off of turn number 4 as lap 1 is underway. Your race leader is Steve Sabowski. And Steve Sabowski leads lap number 1. Then following him is a 16B of or 61M of Chaz Baca Jr. Bomber Enduro 16B of Richard Bennett goes side by side there with a 96 machine of Corey Parent. Corey Parent, like we mentioned earlier, was not scheduled to run that car. It's actually Ron Neese driving Corey Parent's car. It's going to be Ron Neese's niece driving that 96 car, though. Couldn't quite do it there. So limited yellow flags there. That's why you see no caution coming out for that Zero car unless they got their driver's side facing out. Looks like we got a little front row seat there in the old Zero car of Nick Martin to watch today's action. Right now, probably still trying to get that thing kick-fired and started as Chaz Baca Jr. takes the race lead. Chaz Baca Jr. takes the lead away from Steve Sabowski. Old Big Woody's got some smoke pouring out of that right side of that car there. That right rear digging in there, letting her eat here at Arizona Speedway. Here for the 2019 Bomber Enduro, Toby Wibito almost whips it around there off of turn number 4. Gets the car pointed in the right direction. He continues on. Top 2 drivers, though, they have taken control of the race lead. They have pulled out big time, full straightaway over the 10X machine of Michael Sabowski. Right now is in that 3rd spot. So Michael Sabowski in 3rd. Then you got Larry Brigner right now in that 133. The other station wagon out there started to make a charge on Richard Bennett. Actually fell back a couple of spots there to the 06 car. Or 05 machine, excuse me, of Ben Sabowski. The 7-Up hot rod looks to be a little slow there. Todd Berman. Remember those classic commercials of make 7-Up yours? Fun stuff, fun stuff. So Chaz Baca Jr., race leader right now with Steve Sabowski in 2nd. Michael Sabowski is the 3rd driver. Richard Bennett is 4th with Ben Sabowski in 5th in the 05X. That's the 51R of Ross Kryjak. That orange and black machine, Larry Brigner, behind him right now. Running in the 6th spot is Brigner. The 7-Up car has come to a stop there in turn number 3 and 4. That's going to be fun to navigate around for these drivers. Todd Berman comes to a stop there at the apex of turns 3 and 4. The field has to split the 7-Up machine of Todd Berman here in the early stages of the Enduro. 120 laps is the distance. Right now here, 111 laps are left. As Todd Berman has got the car refired, does lose a lap though in the process. So he will move on, but yellow flag will fly. So 108 laps to go. Green flag is back in the air. We're back underway. Chaz Baca Jr., race leader. It's Steve and Michael Sabowski battling out for 2nd. They go side by side into 1. Chaz Baca Jr. leads the field off of turn number 4 with Michael Sabowski and Steve Sabowski bounding for that 2nd spot. Give it to Michael Sabowski. Richard Bennett in that 4th position. Ben Sabowski rounds out your top 5. That's Ross Kryjak right now in 6th. Battle for 7th, though, between the 5C and the 133 of Larry Brigner. Zach Tate looking pretty racy here in the early portion of this afternoon's 120-lap main event. 15 laps are down. 105 left. Little bumper tag going on out there on the racetrack between Brian Knox and the 96 machine of Corey Parent. Then you see Corey Parent's actual car that he owns, the number 80 machine. Ron Neese driving that, goes to the outside of him. As Michael Sabowski looking to inside to Chaz Baca Jr. for your race lead. They work their way off of turn number 2. Chaz Baca Jr. still your race leader. Going to try to go the outside of Toby Wibito to put him a lap down. But here comes Michael Sabowski down to the inside. Battle for the lead. One car coming to a stop. Herman once again, or Todd Berman. Once again, almost comes to a complete stop on the racetrack as Baca and Sabowski, they're still side by side off of turn 2. Those two cars last year were quite the show here in the Robert Horne Ford Bomber class at Arizona Speedway. So if you win a Bomber main event, you actually have to start in the back of the next main event. Those two drivers did it quite a bit. We're able to start in the back and work their way up and win races.
Yeah, you know, Jason, talking to Todd Bierman in the 7-Up car, last time that car was on the racetrack was last New Year's Day for the Enduro. He totaled the car, had to rebuild the whole chassis, and he came out very first time. That car's been sitting for a year. It's like you're going to finish off on the infield.
Yeah, Todd Berman gets his car down into the infield. There's the race leaders race down the back straightaway into turn at number 3. It's still Michael Sabowski right now at the top spot with Chaz Baca Jr. in second, Steve Sabowski in third. Fourth is Richard Bennett. Trying to work his way around the lap car of Toby Wibito. Some smoke, though, coming out of that 16B machine of Bennett. Ben Sabowski is in fifth. Sixth, Zach Tate. That 5C, Zach Tate holding a pretty steering wheel right now here in the early going here at Arizona Speedway. Trying to get past the 05X of Ben Sabowski right now, work his way up into the top 5. That 5C looking pretty racy there as Corey Parent takes his car to the infield. And it looks like he will take his car back out on the racetrack. That's Michael Sabowski in the top 3 starting to split traffic. Michael Sabowski, Chaz Baca Jr. do clear the lap car. Steve Sabowski trying to get past the number 4 machine of Colby Olivet. He'll do just that. So top 3 right now, clear of the lap traffic. Then you got 4 lap cars right there. Actually 5 lap cars kind of playing cushion between Richard Bennett and Steve Sabowski as Bennett now gets by Toby Wibito. Zach Tate was able to work his way around Ben Sabowski the last couple of laps. He is right now being scored in 5th here.
Yeah, JC is
down here, 95 laps to go.
You see Chaz Baca, that 61M, in between first and second place cars. He's actually a lap down now. He's in 13th spot as the Sabowski boys dominate first, second, and 5th place right now.
Yeah, Chaz Baca Jr. looking very racy right now. And that 61M staying right there with Michael Sabowski after giving up the race lead. Steve Sabowski still in that 3rd spot. Larry Brigner off the pace on the 133. That other black station wagon out there on the racetrack, the old shaggin' wagon. Losing a lot of spots right now on the racetrack. So he is up to the top side through turns 3 and 4, trying to get down low. He'll do just that down the front straightaway. He'll bring his car down into the infield. A lot of smoke still pouring out of that 82 machine of Steve Sabowski. Big Wood, he can't quite tell what it is. But that car is digging right now through turns 1 and 2. Smoke now coming out of Michael Sabowski's car, your race leader with some issues. He is going to lose the race lead. Actually going to bring his car down into the infield, it looks like, working very slowly through turns 1 and 2 right now. Michael Sabowski off the pace. Chaz Baca Jr. back to the race lead as Steve Sabowski goes past Michael Sabowski as well. And Michael Sabowski makes that hard left-hand turn down into the pits. Tough break for the 10X, Michael Sabowski. As crews will look over that car. A lot of smoke pouring out of the hood of that hot rod. So tough break for Michael Sabowski. Looks like his day is done here in the Hangover 120. 90 laps to go. 90 laps to go here this afternoon's race as Ron Neese spins around off of turn number 2. So Ron Neese, he spins around turn number 2. He'll try to get the car refired right there at the berm coming off of turn 2, right by that tire. As the former machine of Colby Owlette, he gets a little squirrely right now as Ben Sabowski tries to work him over, put him a lap down. Zach Tate, though, right now, I think he's the guy to watch in that 5C.
Yeah, you know, you look at that 5Cs right there, Zach Tate. But, you know, with Michael Sabowski out, we're going to have a new champion. He won it the last 2 years in a row, and his brother kind of dropping back just a little bit. Well, actually, Ben Sabowski up that third spot. Steve Sabowski, as we're 87 laps to go. 87 laps to go.
Yeah, right now, Zach Tate, he's almost about 3/4 of a lap behind your race leader, Chaz Baca Jr., but holding it pretty well right now up inside the top 5 right now being scored in that third spot. It's Chaz Baca Jr., your race leader, right now going down the back straightaway. Then it's Steve Sabowski, just worked his way off of turn number 2. Then Zach Tate in that third spot, trying to work his way around. Ron Neese, who got his car refired, and Trenton Settle, and those two drivers are a few laps down. Chaz Baca Jr. mired back now in heavy lap traffic. Trying to work his way around the 25 machine of Toby Wibito once again, as well as the 24 machine of Justin Wyckoff. Wyckoff right now being scored in the 8th spot. A lot of smoke pouring out of the 51R, Ross Karajak. Looks like internal issues for him. That smoke just continues to pour. So he works his way through turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. Stays on the racetrack through turns 3 and 4. Going to try to get his money's worth here out of this race, though. This is the 51R of Ross Krajak. These drivers having a hard time making it through. They're got to navigate through the smoke now off of turn 4. Zach Tate, little Days of Thunder like. These drivers coming out like cold trickle. Can't even see what's going on down there, down the front straightaway.
I think we got a new nickname for Krajak. It's 007. You know, he's got that smoke out there. Oh, my Lord. It's going to be tough on all the scorers. But, hey, thanks, Ross. So they were complaining they couldn't see turn 4. Now they really can't see turn 4. Following it on your race monitor.
Yeah, I also see the 133, Larry Brigner. His car is off the track down the infield, so drivers are starting to wind down here. As it's still Chaz Baca Jr., race leader right now, working in turn 3. I believe I see him out there. Your race leader with Steve Sabowski in second. Just now coming off of turn number 2. Car, though, off the pace. He's bringing it down the infield. So Steve Sabowski down the infield, runs over Cone on his way down. That's going to move Zach Tate up to the second spot in the 5C. So he works his way around Sabowski now off of turn number 4 as that right rear is flat on Steve Sabowski's car. So Big Woody going to get a right rear tire. So right rear tire for Steve Sabowski. Came into the pits in the second spot. Of course, this is a 120-lap race, so anything can happen here. Right now, it is Chaz Baca Jr., the man out front. Zach Tate is now in second, with Ben Sabowski in third. Those are the 3 cars left on your lead lap right now. It's Ben Sabowski and Zach Tate. Start to battle for the second spot as Zach Tate slams the door hard on the 05 machine of Ben Sabowski. Those 2 drivers running in the second, or running and battling for the second spot right now, right ahead of your race leader, Chaz Baca Jr., as they work their way into turn number 1. Chaz Baca Jr. about 5 car lengths behind These two guys running second and third on the racetrack, trying to put the whole field one lap down. Still trying to get the right rear tire fixed on Steve Sabowski's car down in the infield to get him back out on the racetrack. Michael Sabowski down there turning wrenches as well in his 10X. Trying to get that car fixed and back out. No 5-minute clock here like they have in NASCAR. You can get it fixed, get back out. Hey, by all means, come on back out. As Steve Sabowski does get his car fixed, Zach Tate spins around right in front of your race leader. Got a little help there from Ben Sabowski, so Sabowski was up to that second spot. Tate goes one lap down in third. Chaz Baca Jr. right now trying to work over Ben Sabowski, put him a lap down. Tough break for Zach Tate here as he's trying to get the car refired and back going the right direction. He's going to pull up right ahead of Chaz Baca Jr. Oh, man, Chaz with a very evasive move to get by him. And right now, Zach Tate is the roadblock there off of turn number 4, trying to work his way up the racetrack, down the racetrack, just trying to get refired now, 2 laps down. Is Zach Tate in that 5C, still can't get the car refired. As Steve Sabowski back on the racetrack, getting pretty evasive of his maneuvering. See that right rear tire, though, starting to smoke up once again, so it definitely had a tire rub on that car. Big Woody there, as 74 laps are left here in this afternoon's Hangover 120. And Ben Sabowski so far has been able to hold off Chaz Baca Jr. to stay on the lead lap. Those are the only 2 cars on the lead lap right now. But not for long, because Chaz Baca Jr. going to rip the top side of the racetrack. Zach Tate finally gets his car down into the infield. Lets it roll to a stop down there off of turn number 4. About 4 laps down now is him. But cannot get it refired, so that's going to move Steve Sabowski up by him. Give you a full field rundown here as Chaz Baca Jr. still trying to work his way around Ben Sabowski. Sabowski is second right now in that 05X as Chaz Baca Jr. is your race leader. So it's Baca, Ben Sabowski, Richard Bennett, Davey Watkins, Toby Wibito, Trenton Sedlin, Justin Wyckoff, Colby Avalette, Ron Neese, Steve Sabowski, Zach Tate, and 11th right now. One thing's for sure, Steve Sabowski sure is driving the wheels off of that car, Gary.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, we're looking down there at Ben Sabowski. Looks like his right hood pin has come up. So that hood is flopping around. Hopefully the left side holds on so he can see where he's going. But yeah, coming from a lap down, anything can happen in a 120-lap feature like this. Chaz Baca Jr. was back in 13th place. Now your race leader.
Yeah, that car right now definitely is digging right now. Running in the 10th spot is Steve Sabowski. There with Chaz Baca Jr. The lone car right now on the lead lap was able to get around Ben Sabowski just a few laps ago. Michael Sabowski actually gets his car fixed and rolling again, so Michael Sabowski will come out a few laps down. And it looks like there might be, if you look, looks like the exhaust might be hanging on that 61M of Chaz Baca Jr. as he makes his way down the back straightaway. I don't know if you can see it on the front stretch or not, but take a good look up underneath the 61M when it goes around. See if Riley zooms in on that. They're up top there as he works his way up a turn number 2. Something definitely dangling underneath the 61M of Chaz Baca Jr., who is the race leader, the lone car on the lead lap right now, with Ben Sabowski still in second. 1 lap down. Then it's Richard Bennett in the 16B, David Watkins, Toby Wibito, Trenton Sedlin, Justin Wyckoff, Colby Avalette, Ron Neese, and Steve Sabowski. See the 0 car of Nick Martin starts to roll finally down the infield. Just trying to get 1 lap in here out of the 120. So 72 goes off the racetrack, comes back on. So action all over the racetrack here at Arizona Speedway. Right now it's Chaz Baca Jr., race leader. See, sneaks back around the 48 machine of David Watkins, puts him another lap down. So right now, Chaz Baca Jr., he is on lap 57. Ben Sabowski, he's working lap 56. Him and Richard Bennett are both 1 lap down.
So, you know, Jason, that 747 car of Justin Sir that's out there, guy out of Cave Creek, last time that car ran was at the last Enduro at Manzanita Speedway. He's got over 1,000 miles and 7 Enduro championships on it. His transponder is not hitting, so I don't know where he is in the race. So that 747, multiple-time winner at Manzi, now out here at the Arizona Speedway.
And Steve Sabowski just lost another right rear tire in turns 3 and 4. Actually, it looks like the right rear's still up, so not too sure if he has a tire down or not, but that car definitely slowed on the racetrack. Steve Sabowski is on lap 53, some 8 laps down behind Chaz Baca Jr. So it's Chaz Baca Jr., race leader. Ben Sabowski is in second. Oh, as Chaz Baca, your race leader, goes around. So Baca goes around. Ben Sabowski going to get back on the lead lap here. So Chaz Baca Jr. able to keep it going. Him and Ben Sabowski now the only 2 cars on the lead lap. Richard Bennett right now 2 laps down. Or 1 lap down, excuse me. David Watkins, he's 1 lap down as well. 2 laps down, Stewie Whippetoe, Trenton Sedlin, Justin Wyckoff, Kobe Olivet. And 5 laps down is Ron Neese in the number 80 machine. Whatever was hanging on the bottom side of Chaz Baca's car doesn't seem to be hanging anymore, so I don't know if something flew off or not, but see Steve Sabowski brings his car down into the work area, has the hood up on that hot rod. Crew's over there looking over that thing. Not sure if something, that piece flew off when Chaz went for a spin or what, but whatever was dangling is not dangling anymore on the 61M of Chaz Baca Jr. So he's trying to race his way back by Ben Sabowski right now, who is the last car on the lead lap in that second spot. Richard Bennett, he's 1 lap down. As Toby Whippetoe spins it off a turn at number 4, gets the car refired, though, right ahead of Ben Sabowski and Chaz Baca Jr., race leader. There's a lot of lap traffic coming up right now. Ben Sabowski trying to work his way, navigate his way through it.
Well, Jason, the way it's looking right now, all 3 previous winners here at the Arizona Speedway, this Bomber Enduro, have all gone down 1, if not more laps. You just saw Toby Whippetoe, the 25 car, spin it out. So the only Sabowski left in it in the contention, but 54 laps to go. Ben Sabowski running second to Chaz Baca Jr. first. And the rest of the field, Davey Watkins, Richard Bennett in third, Davey Watkins in fourth, and Trent Sedlin in fifth.
Yeah, Ben Sabowski right now trying to hang on there at the tail end of the lead lap, but Chaz Baca Jr. coming back from that spin right now, trying to reel him in. Right now working the outside of Trenton Sedlin, put him another lap down, and Toby Whippetoe in the 25. Don't forget, get your 50-50 raffle tickets still on sale down there. 50-50 raffle tickets still on sale. We'll be doing the drawing at the conclusion of this race. So we are past the halfway point here right now, working lap number 69. Your race leaders right now mired back in heavy traffic right now. Ben Sabowski still on the tail end of the lead lap. Chaz Baca Jr., though, trying to work his way to the outside of him. with Corey Parent, Trenton Settle, and Toby Webito behind them, battling out 3 wide. That for position on the racetrack. So Steve Sabowski's race is done. He's out of his car. Michael Sabowski back on the racetrack. Larry Brigner, the other station wagon, he's out of his car. His race is done. Ross Kryjak, his race is done as well in the 51R. Corey Parent still on the track. Justin Schur in the 747. He's still huffing and puffing around the racetrack as well. As Chaz Baca Jr. now looks to the inside, a second-place driver, Ben Sabowski, trying to work him 1 lap down once again as the 80 machine of Ron Neese almost goes around and hit the center blocks down there. A lot of smoke coming from the 80 machine of Ron Neese as Chaz Baca Jr. once again becomes the lone car on the lead lap. So Chaz Baca Jr. by himself right now out front. Only car in the lead lap. Ben Sabowski is second. He is 1 lap down. Richard Bennett in the 16B crossing the start-finish line right now. He is 1 lap down as well. As we are 75 laps in to the 2019 Hangover 120. Great race so far here. Chaz Baca Jr., the only car on the lead lap, as Jonah Trussell has microphone.
All right, scorekeepers. Who's on lap 75? Who's on lap 75? You're going to be on the lead lap. Stand up if you're on lap 75. You got to stand. All right, we got 1. I know we got more than that. You going to stand up? What lap you on? There you go. There you go. What lap you on?
It's only 1 car on the lead lap. Chaz Baca Jr., Ben Sabowski, Richard Bennett. Right now working lap 76 for them. Down 2 laps is Davey Watkins. He's on lap 75 right now. Then on lap 74, you got Toby Wibito, Trenton Settle, and Justin Wyckoff. Those 3 drivers. Trying for them on the racetrack. Toby Wibito just went by the start-finish line. Trenton Settle goes by as well there. The field strung out here. It's all Chaz Baca Jr. out front right now. Has a complete lap advantage over the rest of the field. The 747, though, Justin Schur goes around. Right a heavy race later. His car rolls backwards down into the infield off of turn number 4. So he'll be stopped there for a while. Also got the 80 of Ron Neese stopped on the racetrack as well. So Chaz Baca Jr. right now working lap number 82. Ben Sabowski just crossed start-finish line, working lap 81 for him. Richard Bennett in the 3rd spot just went past the stripe. It's the 747. Justin Schur comes back on the racetrack. So no real battles happening on the racetrack right now for position. Richard Bennett in the 40 in the 16B. And Davey Watkins running very close on the racetrack. They are third and fourth on track. Davey Watkins, though, was one lap behind Richard Bennett. Justin Wyckoff got a little squirrely off of turn number 2 that last lap. So Ben Sabowski in that second spot right now, works his way past the 24W Justin Wyckoff. Needs something big to happen to Chaz Baca Jr. See if he can make up a lap and a half disadvantage that he has right now. Richard Bennett working his way into turn number 3 right now. Chaz Baca Jr. comes off of turn 2, trying to put him 2 laps down here in a few laps as a couple of cars make contact right ahead of Richard Bennett, the 48 of Davey Watkins and Trenton Settling in the 99.
A quick interruption here. It's the last call for your 50-50. Last call to win the cash. One more time through the grandstands and we're done.
See some smoke start to pull out of the 8UD of Brian Knox. His car. Right ahead of second place driver Ben Sabowski is Chaz Baca Jr. Right now racing his way through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to put Richard Bennett 2 laps down. That's your third place driver there in the 16B. Trying to put Davey Watkins 3 laps down. As Chaz Baca Jr. now going to work the top side of the racetrack. Trying to find some speed out there. Ran 40 laps earlier, did Chaz Baca Jr. Another 120 here as we have just 30 laps to go now. 30 laps to go. 90 laps are complete. And Chaz Baca Jr. does put Richard Bennett another lap down. So still Baca, only car in the lead lap. Richard Bennett, or Ben Sabowski in second is 1 lap down. Richard Bennett now 2 laps down as they work through the dust. Rooster tails left over from these cars. Chaz Baca Jr. going to roll right by Trenton Settling, Justin Schur, and David Watkins. Those drivers already a few laps down. They're going to be down in just another lap. Of course, Chaz Baca Jr. spun out earlier on, was able to, already had a pretty good advantage on the field, had a full lap ahead of the field when he did spin out. So no harm, no foul, was able to get the car refired. Get back by Ben Sabowski. And here he is right now pulling away with this one here with just 26 laps left. Justin Wyckoff came off turn number 4, almost made contact with the wall. This car not wanting to turn at all, going into turn number 1. Actually going to get up there, put 4 up in the fluff. Does 24W of Wyckoff. But he continues on. As Toby Wiboto looks to the inside of him. Those 2 drivers right now, Justin Wyckoff is on lap 91. Toby Wiboto is on lap 92 right now, running the 5th spot. Field right now getting strung out single file. Once again, here's the lap cars start to come together once more, though. The 96 machine of Corey Parent, Trenton Settling, David Watkins, Richard Bennett crossing the start-finish line. Good little gaggle of cars right there. Working down the back stretch right now into turn number 3, going 3 wide. As Chaz Baca Jr. leads the field off at turn number 2. Going to put Justin Wyckoff and Toby Wiboto another lap down here in just a few moments. Is that 61M of Chaz Baca Jr. Click off another lap here. Just 21 laps to go. It is Chaz Baca Jr., the man out front right now, working lap number 99. Then it's Ben Sabowski, 1 lap down. Richard Bennett, he's 2 laps down in third. Fourth is David Watkins, 3 laps down. 4 laps down is Toby Wiboto. In Trenton Settling in the 99. 5 laps down is Justin Wyckoff and Colby Olivet at number 4. Michael Sabowski back up to the top 10. Right now, though, 23 laps down after working on that hot rod. As we are at lap 100, 20 laps to go here in the Hangover 120 in the 2019 edition. So 19 laps to go here for Chaz Baca Jr. in the 61M. See, leads the field into turn number 1. Off turn number 2 he goes. Where's Chaz Baca Jr.? Started racing my lights. Got his feet wet there. Moved up to the modified. Track champion here at Arizona Speedway. As Michael Sabowski spins around through turns 3 and 4, brings the car down the infield. Going to take the car right back on the track, though. Does Michael Sabowski right up ahead of the 747. Make things fun. Chaz Baca, like I was saying, track champion here at Arizona Speedway. Is modified last year. Him and Tyler Meckel had a great battle for the track championship last year. Second track championship he's gotten. Won 6 bomber races last year as well. Also had some great runs on the pure stock as Toby Wiboto goes around. Hard contact with that tire. Now at the bottom side of turn 2 as Michael Sabowski and the 8UD make contact. Sabowski, he gets his car refired. The yellow flag, though, will fly. Big green flags in the air. We're back underway. Unless Chaz Baca Jr. breaks, he is going to walk away with this one here as he is out by a yard right now over Richard Bennett in the 16B and the rest of the field. Trying to slice and dice their way. Make up whatever ground they can make up. But right now it's all Chaz Baca Jr. Toby Wiboto brings his car off the racetrack. He was battling Trenton Settling for the 5th spot. But Settling sneaks by him. See the right rear flat on the 25 machine of Wiboto. He comes to a stop there in the infield. Crew looks over that. Going to see if they can't repair that. Get them back out here for the last couple laps at least. Right now, Wiboto running in the 7th spot. Just lost another position to Justin Wyckoff. Is right now on the same lap with Colby Olivet. So won't finish any worse than 8th once he does get the car back out on the racetrack. As the number 4, Colby Olivet actually brings his car to the infield as well. He has a right front flat, it looks like, on that 4 car. So Colby Olivet brings his car down to the infield. So Toby Wiboto get back out. He's going to get that spot back. Looks like the race for that position is going to be won on pit road there as the crew gets done fixing Wiboto's tire. Now they're going to fix the number 4's tire of Olivet. See some stuff hanging there from the bottom machine of the 25 down the back straightaway. As he is right in front of your race leader, Chaz Baca Jr. coming to the start-finish line. 5 laps to go for Chaz Baca Jr. Chaz been on a mission here in this race.
You know, Jason, for those of us who are friends with the driver of the number 24, Justin Wyckoff, ever since New Year's Eve, I think he's been sleeping with his car. I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. Oh, we got to do it. Oh, we got to do it. Oh, 20, and then we got rained out. He's just been talking about nothing about running this race. He is actually going to finish in the top 10 here tonight. So it's a good job out here for all these drivers, especially the 24W.
Yeah, Justin Wyckoff right now running in the 6th position. 5 laps down as Chaz Baca Jr. clicks off another lap here. Just 3 laps to go for Chaz Baca Jr. Started this race on the inside of row number 3, back in the 9th starting spot. Definitely one of the drivers used to racing his way up through the field here in the Robert Horne Ford Bomber ranks. Now just 2 to go for Chaz Baca Jr. White flag in the hand of Conrad Santa Cruz, this time by for the 61M. 1 more lap. He'll work his way off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. One final time, that's 61M. Couldn't quite get it done earlier in the IMCA stock car, but he's going to get it done here in the Bomber and win the Hangover 120, Chaz Baca Jr. All right, as Chaz Baca Jr. climbs out of the race car, he is your winner of the Hangover 120 here in 2019. Had to wait a few weeks for it, Chaz, but out here couldn't quite get done in the stock car, but got done in the Bomber. Man, you are looking dirty.
Yeah, that track was getting real dusty at the end there. You know, 3 weeks ago, I wasn't even supposed to be in this car. Dean was going to run it. He ended up hurting his back last week and just couldn't recover for this deal. So, I mean, thank you to him for letting me run the car. I'm kind of bummed that he didn't get to run it, but I'm glad I put it in victory lane for him. I tried to put that Pierce stock in victory lane, but against the IMCA stock cars, it was a little tough. But it was a good race. It was a lot of fun. And but thank you, Dean. This one's for you.
Yeah, definitely not tough there in the pure stock run with the stock car guys. And this race had a spin there midway through, but you had a full lap lead advantage, able to get back around Ben Sabowski and had the field covered.
Yeah, I was just, from the beginning, I was like, I just need to put the bottom and hold her steady, you know, because last year, I'm pretty sure it was last year, I rushed into the packs a little bit too much, and I ended up popping my own right front, so it took me out of the race. But this year we had it covered, and luckily it was today because from now on I'm supposedly not allowed to run Bombers.
All right, well, there you go. Final Bomber win, I guess, of your career.
Yeah, well, maybe not for my career, but it's just the new rule they put in where if you run any other class, you can't run the Bomber. So it's not a big deal. I mean, it'll be really cool to keep the Bombers secluded to just the new drivers. So that'll be probably some really, really good racing, close racing. So, but it was a lot of fun, and I can't thank Dean enough for letting me drive this thing for, what, 2 years now or something.
All right, Chaz Baca Jr., your winner of the Hangover 120. He'll be back out at Arizona Speedway for the Modified Tour coming up next month, as well as a full week-long of racing starting here in and at USA Raceway in Tucson.
I got to say congratulations, Chaz. I don't know how he does these many laps. I'm not physically fit for this.
It was just add 100 laps to these races, and you'll finish up on the podium.
Yeah, I wish I would have had power steering the whole race.
Hey, we'll definitely be able to wheel this thing. No power steering for a third-place finish. It's got to feel good for you, and it feels good for a workout, too.
Yes, it does. I appreciate the track and all the fans and sponsors.
All right, now go light up a cigarette and close out this day, all right?